Central Bank of Nigeria issues regulatory framework for open banking in Nigeria. Ecological Project Office to sanction airing contractors. African Airlines record 124% passenger traffic growth, says IATA, plus all near flat as U.S. crude stock draw contends with economic concerns. The program is Business Express on a network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we're reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. My name is Leah Katung Babatunde. You're welcome. We begin the business of the day by informing you that the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has launched a regulatory framework for open banking in Nigeria to deepen innovation and increase the range of products available to customers in the financial services industry. In a circular released this Wednesday, the Apex Bank said the framework allows banks and third-party exchanges to obtain customers' data. These, according to the industry regulator, will ensure financial inclusion and lead to innovations that meet customers' demands. The CBN said participants in open banking must secure consent from the data owners, while the consent shall be revalidated annually and or where the application programming interface customers had not used the service for 180 days. The Apex Bank requires all stakeholders to ensure strict compliance with the guidelines and all other regulations as the CBN continues to monitor developments and issue guidance as may be appropriate. And the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, commits to providing platforms and access to international markets for female exporters as the world celebrates women. Alika Opanachiarwa brings us details of a symposium and product exhibition organized by the NEPC in recognition of women's contribution to the growth and development of women entrepreneurs.
As part of its agenda and strategy to develop Nigeria's non-oil exports is enhancing inclusiveness and participation of women in non-oil exports. In view of this, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council has empowered more than 3,000 women towards building up women entrepreneurs and exports of non-oil commodities as the council joins the world to mark International Women's Day.
From our database, we have about 3,610 women that are registered exporters in Nigeria, and the numbers are still going.
For the entrepreneurs, it is a better opportunity for women to expand their sales as the NEPC creates enabling environment for SMEs to thrive.
If you ask me what Nigeria Export Promotion Council has done for me, they've gotten me ISO in 2000, they've gotten me HACCP, FDA, my product had gone to Dubai, my product had gone to South Africa.
I have a lot of women to support me, and I have a lot of people that if I need any help or information about the exportation, I will meet them and they will guide me.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council is also developing exporters mentorship programs to enable entrepreneurs navigate the export terrain as the NEPC looks to break barriers and product rejection in the global and regional markets. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi.
Thank you, Alika. Now, globally, it has been recognized that entrepreneurial development is one of the most effective tools for ending poverty and achieving sustainable development in any economy. Women have been described as an integral part of this development. Women-owned businesses are steadily growing across the world, contributing to household incomes and national economic growth. Today on Business Express, we will be looking at how women are impacting the world of business in Nigeria and the challenges they face. I have joining me an entrepreneur, Naimaka Nwosisi. She is my guest this morning, and of course, she's the CEO of Maknisi Collections, an indigenous brand with a specialty in handmade female bags, footwears, accessories, and African print of fabrics. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, perhaps we'll start by you telling us, we call for action, of course, and how well represented in the first instance are women in the world of business in Nigeria?
Thank you for having me. I would say women are very well represented in the world of business in Nigeria. According to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, you have about 41 million entrepreneurs in Nigeria, and women are 40% of that 41 million, which is a very good number. You have a lot of women entrepreneurs doing lots and lots of businesses and hiring a lot of people. Yes, you find the women entrepreneurs in Nigeria mostly in the small and medium scale businesses, but we know that indeed the private sector is the greatest employers of labor in Nigeria, and I want to say that women are doing very well and we have very good representation. When you start going up the cadre to say, okay, maybe the medium scale businesses and the large businesses, that's where you probably find low representation of women. But if you talk about the SME world, you have a lot of women representation, and indeed I'm one of them sitting here.
Perhaps you let us in. At what point do we see the female population shrinking, and why?
Sorry, I didn't hear her. I didn't hear her. Sorry, can you repeat your question?
I said if you could let us in, at what point in the cadre do we see the female population shrinking, and why?
In the medium scale and in the large scale business world, you see the women population shrinking, and I know it's because of a few different things. So we start with information, access to information. You think about things like capacity building, and I think the biggest reason why you see women shrink in that population as well is because women have lack of access to grants, loans, and facilities to actually grow their businesses. A lot of small, medium scale businesses you see would love to scale, but women are not really empowered that much with the kind of facilities that they need to actually scale their business to that level. You take, for instance, also things like support, family support. A woman is the one who has to hold the home, who has to hold the children, who can only travel so much. I take myself, for example. There's so many places I would love to be today, but because I'm a young woman raising children, I can't make most of those moves right now. And I think aside from the loans, aside from maybe grants and business support that women, I want to believe that women should have more, because we actually hire a lot of people. That family support and that room to move and reach and access most of the things we want to. For my business, I have to travel. If I have to be on the road every month, you can imagine what that would do to my family. And if I don't have enough support, it's a problem. So that's the reason why you don't find women in those medium and large scale businesses, because in the medium business and in the large scale businesses, you're making a lot of decisions. You have to move around. You have to scale to the big stages, you know, and women are lacking in that sector because of this points I've raised. If we had more support, if we had more training, you know, if we had more reach, I think we'll be able to play better in those fields.
So I want to come in here to ask from you, personal experience now, how do you balance the work and family life?
What helps me the most to balance work and family life currently is support. Obviously, I have to plan myself, being organized. I have to wake up quite early, make sure the children are sorted out before I can go off to my business. And even in my business, what I've done, because I've been in business for about 10 years, is actually to structure my business in such a way that we have departments. I own a business where we produce female handbags and accessories here in Abuja in Nigeria. And I have grown my business and structured it in such a way that I have different departments, and I have people who are educated enough to run those fields for me, to run those departments. So being able to delegate helps me to actually get off at 2 or 3, because I know I have people who are handling my business properly, to go and pick up my kids, take them home, settle them, get them structured, sort out their homeworks, and I'm able to go back to the factory, say maybe about 4 o'clock, to continue to run. So that's actually what I've done to help me. So if you're able to get that structure, if you're able to get support, if you have people you can delegate to do X and Y for you in your business, that's the only way as a woman where you can actually move and actually reach different milestones.
So, while it is estimated that globally 9 out of 10 startups shrivel up and die within 3 years, thereby requiring accelerator programs to avert such untimely deaths, many women entrepreneurs in Nigeria are not fully operating at peak. Can you give us an understanding? Is it just the family and the work environment, or there are policies that women need to get themselves more involved?
Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of things that we lack. I think information plays a long role. Where people don't have the right information. We're talking about International Women's Day this year. We're talking about technology. Technology also, when you have that information and when you know the right tools to actually speed up your business, grow your business, and actually so that you can actually scale to a certain level. That's a big one. Information. I talk about capacity building. People not training or growing the businesses or their staff to get up to the level where the world is. You see people, for myself in my business, I had to leave the manual process, and right now we're looking at how to actually scale into automated processes, because that is what is going to keep us playing in the field we're playing. And then also I believe maybe policies to help women, even though you find a lot of women in small scale businesses, they can get more support from the government, women grants, different organizations supporting women and training them to build capacity so that they can actually take on more staff, understand how to scale their businesses and grow. Yes, I believe what you said, a lot of businesses die and remain stagnant because they can't actually grow to newer fields or reach more people just because they don't have these information.
So there is this so much talked about issue that women don't support women. What is your position on that?
Well, I'm not, yes, I know about that, but I'm not one woman who has experienced that, because my business is a business that has grown because women support me. I make predominantly female handbags, female shoes, female accessories, and my business has grown in the last 10 years over leaps and bounds, and because women support me. I have a lot of women who support me. I have a lot of people who walk into my store, and when you ask even the husbands who come, who sent you, they say their wives sent them. So I believe women support women, and I believe women mentor women. I've been in a place where a lot of the growths and a lot of milestones I've hit in my business is because a woman decided to take me under her shield to mentor me. It's because a woman decided to give me constructive criticisms to help me grow. So I don't think we're still in that place where you want to say women don't support women. We're actually championing each other. And if you see what is going on this week with International Women's Day, you would see that women are actually supporting women, and we're going and living that we're leaving that notion where you say women don't support women. To me, I believe women support women, and I believe women supporting women is the way to go.
Okay, perhaps before I let you go, I would want to take this very last question. And a lot of people are afraid of failure. And of course, it is a possibility in every single business we look at. So how can women navigate the waters when we talk about trying and failing?
Well, there's nothing... for me to move on or to achieve anything in life, you have to try. I want to tell anybody watching, you have to first of all remove that thing in your mind about failing. Yes, you're going to have that fear creeping. Are people going to buy what I'm selling? Can I do this? How am I going to achieve this? But if you don't try, how are you going to know? That's literally it. We have to try. If you don't try, 10 people might say no, but you might get that one person who says yes. And that one person will be the person who brings you repeat customers, will be the person who propels you to shine and move. I would want to tell anybody watching who is afraid to start, you have to start first. Because if you never start, you will never know if you're actually going to make it. So start, I would say, and remain consistent.
Thank you so much, Namaka, for coming on the program this morning. And I would want to also point out that indeed I have seen your bags. I love them, and I'll make sure I get one of them after the program. Thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
Of course, happy International Women's Day. So oil prices were near flat this Thursday as a larger than expected draw in U.S. crude stocks contended with worries that more aggressive U.S. interest rate rises would strain economic growth and therefore dent oil consumption. Brent crude futures had edged higher by 5 cents to $82.71 per barrel by 0103 GMT, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 5 cents to $76.71 a barrel. Let's now see the prices of other commodities. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, says low crop yields, post-harvest losses, food safety concerns, and weak implementation of relevant policies are among others issues that are stagnating agriculture production in Nigeria. This, according to the UN agency, was part of findings contained in the latest Nigeria Food System Assessment Profile that was conducted in 2022, which was a joint initiative launched by the European Union, FAO, French Research Center for Agricultural Development in collaboration with the government of Nigeria. It noted that Nigeria's population was estimated to hit 40 million by the year 2050, but noted that large food deficits remained a cardinal challenge to the food system. The agency, however, stated that Nigeria has the potential to feed its growing population in the coming decades, adding that food self-sufficiency could be attained through production technologies and entrenching sustainable and inclusive food systems in the structure, governance, and administration. And hiring contractors who fail to meet up with contractual obligations. Apologies, we take that story again. Contractors who fail to meet up with contractual obligations and timelines for ecological projects nationwide risk sanctions or outright termination of their contracts. The Permanent Secretary Ecological Project Office, Shehu Ibrahim, stated these during an inspection tour of some flood control projects in Lagos State. Mitari reports.
This canal traversing Tejo-Osho area of Lagos State is stagnant and filthy. Waste from domestic and commercial activities litter the canal, causing perennial flooding and health challenges for residents.
During rainy season, the canal, due to the trash they put on it, it will allow water to overflow the road. So it's not good for human health. If there is a little bit cleanup for it, at least people around will enjoy. But Asakuma is in a mess.
To tackle flooding, the Ecological Project Office has since awarded contract for dredging and desilting of the canal for more than 2 years now. But an inspection of the project reveals delay in contract execution and the growth of water hyacinth along the canal.
There's a contract that is supposed to meet, so we'll look at the necessary articles within that contract. If there's anything that any area that needs to be sanctioned, we'll do that.
Meanwhile, the environmental hazard caused by the broken down central sewage plant of the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital Idi-Araba is being tackled with the construction of a fresh 6-kilometer sewage pipeline facility by the Ecological Project Office to serve the university community and environs.
The sewage system has been in existence for over 50 years, and inevitably they became overworked, and this was the reason why we had to approach the Ecological Fund at the presidency. So for us as a community, then for the people that live downstream to us, they will not be exposed to any hazards again. So I must use this opportunity therefore to thank Mr. President, to thank the SGF, to thank the Permanent Secretary and everybody that has made this possible.
In the design, we considered waste from 10,000 persons.
Presently, we have so many requests. In fact, more than 3,000 plus in our data bank, to take care of. But one of our challenges is the issue of fund. Whatever we have, the level of intervention will depend on the fund available to us.
The Lut sewage project comprises of a treatment plant to chemically treat about 8,000 liters of effluent daily for irrigation and other purposes. Mitaire Ikben.
And investors gained in midweek trade as the equities market in Nigeria closed positive Wednesday and is resuming upbeat this morning. The NGX All-Share Index advanced to 55,801 basis points. Market capitalization also increased to 30.397 trillion naira. 152.7 million shares were traded by investors in 3,293 deals valued at 3.572 billion naira. TransExpress and Qtix PLC were the tools of investors for the day. And we move straight to the global market.
Powell reiterated his warning message to lawmakers that the central bank may raise interest rates higher than previously anticipated. Following that, Asia shares were mixed on Thursday as China saw softening in its inflation print in February. The Economics Consumer Price Index grew 1% year-on-year, the slowest pace since February 2022. Japan's Nikkei 225 closed 0.63% higher at 28,623.15, while the Hang Seng Index and the Shanghai Composite are negative. U.S. stock futures were flat early Thursday as traders processed fresh job market data and comments from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by 23 points. S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq 100 futures also dipped. European markets are heading for a lower open Thursday as investors digested more comments from U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. For Africa, no figures yet as at the time of this report. Bosede Able, Business Express.
Thank you, Pastor Lee. And from that end, we wrap up Business Express this morning. Remember to send in your comments, observations, and suggestions. Also be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Friday at 3 p.m. My name is Leah Katung Babatunde, wishing you a very beautiful day ahead and saying, God bless Nigeria.